So, hey everybody, we're back together once again for another Dischordian archive. You'll have to forgive Joe and I. We actually had a gig last night and we libated and oscillated at a 1 to 2 a.m. slot. We're old men.
We're not used to that anymore. We need sleep.
Yeah, so we kind of patterned it so you get to see us being all nice and casual.
And very hungover.
Yeah, pretty hungover. Yeah. So the mix we're going to talk about is actually my mix called Lusine and Cinder. Happened back in 2011, and it was kind of right after L&O had kind of come together. It's actually one of the most recent mixes that I'd actually done, still under the Tonebreaker name. There's only one after that. It's pretty much all the stuff we're doing now with L&O. But it's cool because this is a mix that actually almost didn't happen. I started it, and it starts out real kind of like ambient, a little down tempo, and basically through the course of an hour-long mix, it goes from down tempo to drum and bass. It's all over the place, and I was a little worried at first that that'd be just a little too off the wall for people to get behind and enjoy. So I almost just shelved it and said, you're going a little nonsensical on it.
I tried to push him as much as I could because I would pop over and see what he's working on. He'd show me pieces, and I was just kind of like, whoa, no, this is crazy. I was really super curious to see where it was going to end up. Especially kind of towards the middle. One of my favorite bits is where the Boombox track goes into the Glitch Mob track, and that whole sequence right there was just absolutely mind-blowing.
Yeah, we actually yanked that same mix in. It appears, it's just so good. It appears again in an L&O mix, actually.
I wanted it.
Yeah.
It was in Crackonometer, and I couldn't help it. It was so theatrical, it needed to be in that moment, so we kind of yanked it out again.
Again, it's a pretty crazy mix. It's actually got, interesting enough, one of the tracks is on there. This is back when I was still kind of hanging around and talking a lot with Aaron Jakes from Bronzewell, and it actually has one of his remixes before Bronzewell was even formed, and really not a lot of people were actually like hearing his stuff, so I love the track, I love the remix that he did, so ended up slapping that in there. It's got some Flashbulb in it. It really just, it kind of tells a story. In fact, I didn't come up with this. Joe has this like story in his head of what he thinks the mix actually tells, from beginning to end. And at some point, I really like the idea behind it, and having heard the story and kind of deciding, well, maybe that's something that we'll go and kind of put together. We'll write out the actual story, slap it up there with the mix.
It's something I always, when I heard this, it opened my mind up to further possibilities of, mixing without borders of tempo or genre or anything like that. And so it really kind of inspired me. I've always wanted to do a follow-up to it, but basically when I listen to it, it's the story of a young chimney sweep who falls in with a band of gypsies and becomes a steampunk airship captain and leads a band of rebels to victory. And so it's, there's more involved to the story, but that's kind of what I hear when I listen to this mix. And it's kind of the origin of Dr. Dirigible and Tonebreaker's character within the L&O story. I would love one day to do a follow-up, that was kind of more of a fire element style, kind of follow-up in more of an earth element style. Would be the origins of the Outlaw Saint, would be my character. Every time I've started one, however, we've turned it into an L&O mix.
Yeah.
So.
So yeah, we're going to actually be fleshing a lot of this out more when we start doing the website launch. These characters that we've kind of come up with, you have the Outlaw Saint, you have Dr. Dirigible, you have Bijou Kaboom, and you have Cowgirl Geisha. All of those are going to get fleshed out, and we're going to kind of let you see into the backstory of kind of how that is, and kind of help evolve what the band is when we do our performances. And you hear these names, but actually who they are will be alternate personas that we actually kind of go and adopt. And that's stuff that we'll be fleshing out as we get the website going. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this mix. It's kind of the mix that wasn't and then was, and it gets a whole lot of attention in a lot of different places. I'm happy to re-release it, and I hope you guys dig on it. So without further ado, we have Soot and Cinder.
See you next time, guys.
Bye.